So let's talk about your experiences. So would you tell me a little bit about your education and employment history before you came to the into the TotalChild pilot?
Before TotalChild, I was a graduate from Washington, had a gap year, so basically a year off, didn't go straight into college after graduating like in the fall, and I was not working, so there was just, space in between me graduating and pretty much open time on my hands, no work or school involved.
Okay, so you started meeting with your success manager.
Yes.
And once you joined the pilot, she walked you through some assessments and some conversations, and together the two of you created your education and employment plan, and it was individualized just for you.
Yes.
Okay, so then on a weekly basis you worked on your more short-term objectives, and those were on your success roadmap.
Yeah.
So those short-term objectives, they build the skills that are necessary to achieve your education and your employment goals or your plan. So tell me about some of those objectives from your success roadmap and what your success manager has been able to help you with.
Well, we went through and did a focus assessment through Kirkwood, and that helped just to see like where my interests were before I even like look at school or anything like that, or a job. We both went on the tour out at Kirkwood, and at the admissions she helped me so I could like reapply and actually like pick what I want to go to school for and have that straightened.
And what did you choose?
Human services. And then we looked at the checklist that they gave us from Kirkwood, just things that I need to get done before being like fully enrolled. And then later on we ended up getting my FAFSA completed. That was things that that was one thing that my success manager helped me with. And then we looked at orientation dates, and then a date set for me to take my placement exams. So I will be fully ready for school by the time classes start, and that's exciting. We both looked at things I was interested in and did 2 job shadows for me. The first shadow was for dental hygienist, and that was at the Eastern Iowa Dental Center, and then the second was an interview with the probation officer. I learned a lot more in person with the job shadow for dental hygienist that I didn't expect, and it was a good shadow, but it just showed me a lot more of like where I would fit into it and where I wouldn't. And then with the probation officer, that was where my interest really was at, and I got a lot of just personal info from someone in that field, and just it worked out for me, being able to walk away from it and say this is still something I would like to do and find out more about like schooling wise.
What other kind of connections has your success manager helped you with?
I have done volunteering, and that's been good experiences for me because they've all been different. So, or do it through a different place. So it's like networking, and I like that. I did volunteering with HACAP. That was with the food reservoir, and it was just a couple of us, but went really smooth. We did volunteering with the Achievement Academy, and that was with all the youth, and I like that one the most.
So not only do you learn about the business and maybe about what opportunities are at that business, you also learned about, being part of a team and just having fun.
And I talked more with the other volunteer, which is someone who's a TotalChild participant, and that was a nice conversation with them, just to talk while doing the volunteering work. Just connected more.
Exactly,
with someone.
Those connections and that engagement. What about the mentoring program? What do you think you've gotten out of that?
The mentoring group, I would say that I could ask anyone there, any of the volunteers that were there, advice pretty much related to anything, job or school related, and that's really nice. The activity we did with budgeting, I feel like really helped me personally, and living on your own, I just learned new things about it. And then I feel like my savings definitely reflected just learning new things with budgeting and to be more responsible, and just different ways that it doesn't feel like a job, but still a responsibility, and staying on track with my own goals.
Not only did you see the mentor during the mentoring time, didn't you even go out of the box and you and a mentor met just on your own personal time for
Yep.
even some more budgeting help, didn't you?
Yeah. And we drew out a plan that would work for me, banking, and I absolutely loved it, and I wish I would have had that help a little bit earlier on when I started working and started saving and opened my account. But things happen, it's just a learning process, and I did appreciate it a lot that he took the time to sit down and draw out a plan with me. I don't think I would have found that anywhere else. So
How's your success manager been motivating you?
I would say my success manager stays in contact with me and really looks into anything I mention that is an interest, or anything that I mention and I want to try out. There's always something offered to me, or like pretty much getting me back on track from being out of school and not working. I was referred into 2 different programs, and that was from my success manager, and those 2 things have been like the highlight of my year. One was the Paths program, and then creating futures. So she really worked hard, I feel like, putting me in as a recommendation for them both. And then really she listens to me, what I want out of life on a personal level. I really enjoyed Paths. We focused a lot on employment skills and some career exploration.
So if you were to meet a high school student right now and they were considering, they couldn't decide, should I become a part of this cohort, or this pilot or not, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, definitely give it a go. At least try out being in the program to see how, and I would say short term or long term, because you're going to see results either way, because I was undecided about plenty of things, and I've done so much this year already being in this cohort. So yeah, I would tell any high school student to get involved and pretty much talk with everyone, because someone's going to care, and someone's going to help you find like whatever it is you want to be a part of or do.